Market Mantra. Market Mantra. Market Mantra. Market Mantra. Market Mantra. Market Mantra.
Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Market Mantra, in which we give you a complete update on the economic, business and stock market news of the day. My name is Rajesh Lake and with me is my co-anchor in Hindi, Vishal Sharma.
नमस्कार, मार्केट मंत्र में आप सभी का स्वागत। आधे घंटे के इस कार्यक्रम में लाएंगे आप तक देश और दुनिया से आर्थिक, व्यापारिक और शेयर बाजार के ताजा समाचार, साथ ही उन पर चर्चा भी करेंगे। चर्चा के लिए आज स्टूडियो में आमंत्रित हैं रूरल वॉइस के संपादक हरवीर सिंह। हरवीर जी नमस्कार, कार्यक्रम में आपका स्वागत।
वार्म वेलकम हरवीर।
थैंक यू राजेश।
सबसे पहले हेडलाइंस के साथ हैं राजेश लेख।
World Bank revises GDP growth forecast for India to 6.9% for the current fiscal. Domestic stocks witness modest losses. Sensex finishes below 62,650. Nifty settles below 18,650 level. And Brent crude price falls to $81.60 per barrel.
विश्व बैंक ने वर्ष 2022-23 के लिए भारत के सकल घरेलू उत्पाद की वृद्धि दर का अनुमान 6.5% से बढ़ाकर 6.9% किया। घरेलू शेयर बाजारों में रही हल्की गिरावट। सेंसेक्स 52,650 से नीचे हुआ बंद। निफ्टी 18,650 के स्तर से नीचे आया और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय बाजार में ब्रेंट कच्चे तेल की कीमतें गिरकर $81.60 प्रति डॉलर के आसपास।
The World Bank today revised its GDP growth forecast for India to 6.9% for 2022-23 from 6.5% earlier. The World Bank adding that it is well positioned to tackle global headwinds. It said India is affected by spillovers from the US, Euro and China. Meanwhile, the World Bank also expressed the confidence that the global slowdown has a much lower impact on India compared to other emerging economies. Meanwhile, it expects the inflation at 7.1% in current fiscal year. Harveer, what does it say about India and its economy, how resilient it is? Because coming from 6.5% to 6.9%, and in a very short span of time, it has been revised. What do you have to say about the Indian economy?
Yes, actually, the way Indian economy is doing well, not only World Bank, even rating agency Fitch also revised on the upwardly our GDP forecast. And World Bank earlier reduced the basically forecast for growth. Now it made this upwardly revision out of that for current fiscal. The reason is that because in Indian economy, economic activities are increasing. We have a huge market. So we have definitely the global headwinds affected us also like other economies. But among the emerging economies, we are one of the very big economy, and it has not affected us like others because the Indian market is giving the cushion to the manufacturing and production in different areas and providing the jobs. So, and activities are increasing. If you see this recent September quarter GDP number issued by statistical organization, that is also 6.3%, and out of that the growth from agriculture is coming at 4.6%, despite not a good basically number coming from manufacturing, but the agriculture and services pull the economy up basically. So it shows that we have a huge market available for all kind of products, and at the same time the production activities are also going in the right direction.
जी हरवीर जी, विश्व बैंक ने मौजूदा वित्त वर्ष के लिए जो मुद्रास्फीति का जो अनुमान जो बताया है वो 7.1% के आसपास रहने का संभावना दर व्यक्त की है। तो आपको लगता है कि महंगाई अब भी एक चुनौती बनी हुई है?
देखिए, महंगाई तो चुनौती है और अभी क्योंकि हमारे जो थोक महंगाई के नंबर है वो भी ऊपर हैं और खुदरा महंगाई जरूर 7% से नीचे आई जो पिछला आंकड़ा आया था। मेरा मानना है कि शायद जो आरबीआई ने जो लगाया है अनुमान के 7% से नीचे रहेगी महंगाई दर, मैं शायद उससे सहमत हूं, क्योंकि अगर आप देखें जो सिनेरियो है महंगाई का, अगर हम फूड प्रोडक्शन की बात देखें, हमारे यहाँ सफिशिएंट फूड स्टॉक्स हैं और प्रोडक्शन भी अच्छा है डिस्पाइट काफी सारे इलाके में ड्राउट रहा खरीद में, बट जिस तरीके से क्रॉप आई है दैट इज सेटिस्फैक्टरी। दूसरे जो हम लोग हमें इन्फ्लेशन जो इंपोर्ट करते हैं, जो इंपोर्टेड गुड्स के थ्रू बेसिकली जैसे एनर्जी प्रोडक्ट्स और एडिबल ऑयल एक बड़ा कंपोनेंट रहा है हमारा, उसमें क्या है कि अभी ग्लोबली प्राइसेस काफी नीचे गई हैं एडिबल ऑयल की, और अगर हम डोमेस्टिक मार्केट में भी देखें वहां भी एक अच्छा करेक्शन आया, पल्सेस भी नीचे हैं, उनका भी दाम नहीं बढ़ रहा है। तो ये बेसिकली क्योंकि इंपोर्ट डिपेंडेंसी यहाँ पर है, और बाकी जो एनर्जी प्रोडक्ट्स हैं हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि जो क्रूड प्राइसेस है वो भी काफी सोफन अप हुई है। तो ये सारा का सारा जो आपका है, बिकॉज फूड हैज अराउंड 46% शेयर इन इन्फ्लेशन और एनर्जी का भी बड़ा शेयर है, यहाँ दोनों में आने वाला जो सिनेरियो है, इवन जो एफएओ का जो फूड इंडेक्स है उसमें जबरदस्त गिरावट आई है पिछले कुछ महीनों के अंदर, जो अपने रिकॉर्ड लेवल से काफी नीचे आया, बिकॉज ग्लोबली जो एग्रीकल्चरल कमोडिटीज हैं उनके ऊपर दाम का कोई बहुत बड़ा प्रेशर नहीं है। तो इसलिए मुझे लगता है कि जो महंगाई दर की जो आंकड़ा है, ये जो एक एस्टिमेट जो फोरकास्ट किया है विश्व बैंक ने, उससे नीचे ही मुझे लगता है कि जो खुदरा महंगाई है उससे कम रहेगी।
So, Habib, the macroeconomic fundamentals are pretty strong, as you mentioned a while back. I'm going to take you to the rural economy. If that is strengthened further, you think the GDP figures will go up? If that were to happen, then how do we go about strengthening the rural economy?
Rajesh, agriculture and rural economy depends a lot on monsoon. We have seen a continuously regular normal monsoon, but at the same time it was basically monsoon withdrew very late this time, so there was rainfall even it extended the period.
Right.
So we have sufficient basically moisture in the soil. So that's why we are seeing it in practical. The latest data shows that almost every crop, the acreage has increased in Rabi compared to last year. So it shows that there will be a good Rabi production. We have just to be, I think, hopeful that something that unusual rainfall or temperature increase doesn't occur when the crop will come near the harvest time. So at this time we can say very good potential we are seeing in Rabi. Definitely when production will go up, so rural economy will create more demand for others, as well as the more flow of money will be in the rural economy into the hand of the farmers. So in that case, that the rural wages also will go up. So that is the thing.
And there will be more purchasing power
yes,
for them.
And now all policymakers and economists and developmental economists, everybody now have very strong faith that if we strengthen our agriculture and allied sector, solution for unemployment or other issues to pull people from poverty will come only from agriculture and allied sector, to create more job there, to invest more money into agriculture infrastructure, to increase the processing of agro products, so that all major activity must happen in agriculture and rural area. So that will be very good for the economy.
Okay, what about the headwinds that the World Bank is talking about? It says that India is well positioned to tackle the global headwinds. Now, if you could take them up, the headwinds, to my mind, the first and major one is the geopolitical scenario that is currently on. So, if how are we? There's nothing that we can do about the war that's going on, except, as PM Modi says, war is not something that can solve problems. It has we must talk about it. If that aspect is settled, how else are we? Which other factors are there which are causing these headwinds to come towards us, and how are we tackling it?
See, this was very big development last year in February, this conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Before that, pressure for inflation and slowing down of economy was happening in all major economies, whether it is US or Europe or China. So we were getting affected due to that. But suddenly this thing was very disruptive. Before that was COVID. So this disruption created problem for energy and food supply and fertilizer supply. So we were facing this problem, but we tried to find out some alternate or some substitute to get this product, because we depend on fertilizer as well as we depend on energy. So we source fertilizer from other areas, basically because Russia and Belarus was one of the biggest supplier of fertilizers, and that also affected the grain market, global grain market. The prices went up, and we were depending on edible oil also. And these things suddenly happened and prices moved very high for grain, for edible oil, or for energy. If you see that things are getting settled, we are importing a lot of oil. Almost recent data shows that 25% of our requirement we imported from Russia. So at a very reasonable price. So that is good for us. But in coming days, you will see that energy prices are going up, gas prices are going up, because Europe is facing a problem, because Europe is on the other side of this thing. So, and supply comes from Russia affects that. So another factor is this the China. Some basically tension between China and US on Taiwan issue, or inner problem of China. We have recently seen some agitation due to very strong COVID restrictions on the in the affected areas of COVID, and that is affecting the even the economic activities into that country. That is one of the biggest economy of the world. If there is some disruption there, it will affect other areas also. So China is also a market for us. We are also a market for China.
So these are the headwinds which we are facing in India.
विश्व बैंक ने ये भी कहा है कि जो संभावित जो वैश्विक मंदी की जो बात की जा रही है, उससे भारत बहुत कम प्रभावित होगा. इस भरोसे के पीछे विश्व बैंक के आप क्या वजह या आधार देखते हैं?
देखिए, एक तो मैं यही देख रहा हूँ, जैसे अभी जिक्र भी किया कि जो हमारा जो घरेलू बाजार की जो मजबूती है, मतलब जो मार्केट है, वो बहुत बड़ा मार्केट है. हम लोग 1.4 बिलियन मतलब इतना हमारा है, एक 135-40 करोड़ की आबादी है, और उसका एक बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा काफी उसका डिस्पोजेबल इनकम है. तो हमारे पास एक अच्छा खासा मार्केट है. दूसरे आप ये देखिए कि जो जिस तरीके का महंगाई का असर बाहर है, वहां पर हमारे यहाँ कम है. फिर जो रिसेशनरी ट्रेंड है, मुझे लगता है कि वो बदल भी रहा. इवन इन यूएस अगर आप देखेंगे कि वहां पर जो पहले जिस तरीके की मंदी की संभावनाएं थी, वो शायद उसको नकार रही है वहां की इकोनॉमी. हाँ, ये जरूर है कि यूरोप में कुछ देश हैं जो अभी काफी सारी प्रॉब्लम, और उसके पीछे ये जो सप्लाई इसका एनर्जी प्राइसेस काफी बढ़ी है वहां पर, वहां इन्फ्लेशन का प्रेशर अभी भी है. तो ये इस तरीके के पहलू हैं. तो हम अपने आप को उससे थोड़ा बचा के रखे हुए हैं उस तरीके से, क्योंकि हमारी बहुत सारी चीजों में ग्लोबल डिपेंडेंसी उस तरीके की नहीं है, जो एक्सटर्नल जो है, इवन फॉर आवर ओन कंजम्पशन एज वेल एज फॉर आवर एक्सपोर्ट्स.
जी, मुद्रास्फीति की बात करें तो रिजर्व बैंक की मौद्रिक नीति की बैठक होने वाली है, और उसमें आप क्या हम उम्मीद करें कि जो 6% का जो एक दायरा निर्धारित कर रखा है, उससे ऊपर ही अभी बनी हुई है. क्या आरबीआई कुछ कोशिश करेगा, कुछ प्रयास करेगा इसको करने के लिए?
In fact, the World Bank is also saying that it will remain at 7.1% in current fiscal year.
Yes, in fact मुझे लगता है कि जो रिजर्व बैंक का स्टांस अभी है कि महंगाई को नियंत्रित करना है, बिकॉज रिजर्व बैंक भी जवाबदेह है. उसने एग्रीमेंट किया सरकार से, जो हम कहते हैं 6% नहीं है, इधर 4 + -2, वो 2 और 6 के बीच में है. जो आइडियल तो 4% है. तो अब उससे तो अभी बहुत दूर है, डिस्पाइट हमें पिछले महीने
7 से 6 पे आना पहला.
तो ये पहले तो वहां तक आना. तो अभी लगता है जो कल से जो मौद्रिक नीति कमेटी की जो मीटिंग हो रही है, सो वो शायद स्टांस अभी ब्याज दरों को थोड़ा सा मजबूत करने की तरफ ही रहेगा। हो सकता है कि उसमें जो बढ़ोतरी का स्तर जो पहले जो स्टेप लिए गए हैं उतना ना हो, लेकिन अभी भी लगता है कि उस इंस्टांस को अभी रिजर्व बैंक जारी रख सकता है।
जी, रुक करते हैं शेयर बाजारों का। घरेलू शेयर बाजारों की बात करें तो आज घरेलू शेयर बाजारों में हल्की गिरावट रही। वैश्विक शेयर बाजारों से मिले कमजोर संकेतों के बीच सेंसेक्स और निफ्टी में 0.3% से अधिक की गिरावट दर्ज की गई। सेंसेक्स 62,650 अंक और निफ्टी 18,650 के स्तर से नीचे बंद हुए। बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज का सेंसेक्स 208 अंक गिरकर 62,626 पर बंद हुआ, जबकि नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज का निफ्टी 58 अंक फिसलकर 18,643 पर आ गया। व्यापक बाजार में बीएसई मिड कैप इंडेक्स में 0.53% और स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स में 0.32% की गिरावट दर्ज हुई।
The Sensex and the Nifty today witnessed modest losses. Both indices fell more than 0.3% amid negative cues from global share markets. The BSE Sensex finished below 62,650 points, while the Nifty settled below 18,650 level. The Sensex declined 208 points to close at 62,626, while the Nifty slipped 58 points to end at 18,643. In the broader market at the BSE, mid-cap index lost 0.53% and the small-cap index ended 0.32% down. In the Sensex pack, 15 companies posted gains, while 15 logged losses. Hindustan Unilever was the top gainer as it added 1.3%, followed by Nestle India and Power Grid, which surged 0.7% each. On the other hand, Tata Steel declined 2.5%, Dr. Reddy's Lab plunged 2.4%, and Infosys fell 1.7%. In the sectoral indices at BSE, 5 sectors gained, while 15 logged losses. Utilities sector gained 1% and power index rose 0.9%. On the other hand, metal sector declined 1.7%, tech and IT sector indices fell 1.4% each. The overall breadth of the BSE trade was negative as shares of 1,563 companies gained while 1,936 fell. Shares of 133 companies remained unchanged. How do you see the way the market reacted today? This modest losses were expected, or is it good for the market that some correction is taking place?
Actually, I think investors are waiting for tomorrow's move by RBI. They are like that. Recently, we have seen a big growth in the market continuously. We have seen in last 2-3 sessions very small changes on the lower side, but not a very big volatility, that kind of thing. And foreign investment is also coming into the market. So maybe when RBI takes some calls, some decisions, so then we will see a different kind of movement in the market, depending on that.
Okay. What about the lot of foreign investors are pouring in money, and particularly in the financial sector? How do you see the banking and the financial sector behaving going forward, given the support that they are getting from the FPIs?
You see that banking sector is a very, very bright sector for the Indian economy. When any economy grows, definitely credit goes up. So and the income of for the banks goes up. And we are seeing many new products in the fintech and financial sectors. So there is a huge scope for banking and financial sector, including insurance. You can say the BFSI sector in the economy. That's why investors are seeing opportunity in these stocks. And we should also realize that still, despite the stock market reached at a very high level, there are a large number of stocks are even still below their 52 weeks high mark. So maybe some investors must be seeing an opportunity to invest into these stocks.
जी, ब्याज बैंकिंग सेक्टर की बात हो रही, तो ब्याज दरें जिस तरीके से बढ़ रही हैं और ऐसा अभी उम्मीद है कि आरबीआई जो अपनी मौद्रिक नीति बैठक में ब्याज दरों में एक बार बढ़ोतरी करेगा, तो ये जो ब्याज दरों में जो बढ़ना है, ये क्या बैंकों की जो क्रेडिट लोन जो क्रेडिट ग्रोथ है, क्या आपको लगता है कि उस पर भी असर कहीं ना कहीं डालता है?
देखिए, एक जब लोगों की क्षमता से आगे जाने लगता है महंगाई का स्तर और जो भी प्रोडक्ट उनको खरीदना है, जिसके लिए उनको क्रेडिट लेना है, तो फिर असर डालेगा, फिर वो जो क्रेडिट ग्रोथ को स्लो कर देगा। और लेकिन हमें ये भी देखना चाहिए कि जो आरबीआई जब ब्याज दर बढ़ाता है, उसके पीछे एक फैक्टर ये भी होता है कि जो इजी मनी है उसको थोड़ा सा वो कंस्टेन करने की कोशिश करता है कि मनी सप्लाई थोड़ा कम हो जाए। तो अभी तो लगता है कि उस तरीके का असर अभी तो देखने को नहीं मिला है। और ज्यादातर बैंक्स ने, रिजर्व बैंक के जिस तरीके से पॉलिसी रेट में बढ़ोतरी हुई है, उस अनुपात में बैंक्स ने ब्याज दरें बढ़ाई हैं। बट इंटरेस्टिंगली अभी जो डिपॉजिट रेट्स हैं उसमें उस तरीके से इंक्रीज अभी नहीं आया है। अभी भी जो आप देखेंगे, जो फिक्स डिपॉजिट्स हैं, टर्म डिपॉजिट्स हैं, उसमें उस तरह से नहीं है। और दैट्स वाई हम जब बैंक्स का जो नेट इंटरेस्ट मार्जिन और बैंक्स के जो प्रॉफिट्स हैं वो काफी बेहतर है, अगर आप देखें इनके नतीजों में दिखता भी है। तो ये तो उस तरीके का है कि लगता है उनको कि शायद ग्रोथ अभी जारी है और इसलिए वो ब्याज दरें बढ़ा रहे हैं।
तो पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स के शेयर्स में चमक बनी रहेगी आगे, ऐसा मान के चलें?
हाँ, मान सकते हैं, क्योंकि वहां तो एक और फैक्टर है कि जो पब्लिक सेक्टर के कुछ बैंक्स हैं उनका डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट की भी बात है, तो इसलिए जो इन्वेस्टर्स हैं उसमें उसकी भी संभावना देख रहे हैं।
So, Harveer, you said that the market is actually waiting for the RBI's monetary policy outcome tomorrow. Combined with this was also a factor of a weak Indian rupee, and they were also, in fact, it weakened by 1.01% to 82.61 per dollar. In fact, it is said it's the worst trading session in more than 2 months amid chatter of corporate dollar outflows. So how do you see the rupee behaving in the coming days? And in fact, one of the reports says that rupee has become one of the weakest currencies across a broad basket of currencies on a year-to-date basis.
Actually, if you see the developments, or we were talking earlier, geopolitical issues and all, and against the dollar, even the strongest currency of the world also depreciated in a very big way. If you talk about euro or pound or other currency also depreciated. So definitely we have seen a very big outflow also from our forex. But if you compare many currencies, rupee has not depreciated so much like that. I think, and even a depreciated rupee also provides opportunity for like foreign investor in our stock market and our exporters to make more money or to make their exports competitive. So it is not just one way; it is two way when rupee gets depreciated or appreciated.
So what are you expecting in the RBI policy meeting tomorrow? 35%?
It's actually those.
Everyone is talking about
yes, around
35 basis
35 basis points, like the 35 basis points. Earlier it's transferred like 0.5% or even more than. So like that. So maybe some moderate revision upwardly in this policy rates.
Now look at what the Fed was actually. Everyone was thinking that Fed is not going to do major increase. But as things stand today, it is expected that most the Fed is going to really going to increase the rates around the 15th of this month.
No, Fed is, if you see, to control the inflation in US, the stance Fed has taken a very, very strong stance and very aggressive increase in interest rates. We have seen in, I think, in last few decades only, we are seeing right now. And I think the way inflation is coming down there, it means their policy or the stance is working.
जी, रुक करते हैं वैश्विक शेयर बाजारों का। वैश्विक शेयर बाजार आज लगातार तीसरे दिन नुकसान में रहे। एशियाई शेयर बाजारों में भी गिरावट रही और डॉलर में मजबूती दिखाई दी। अमेरिकी अर्थव्यवस्था के मजबूत आंकड़ों के बाद निवेशकों की इस धारणा को बल मिला है कि केंद्रीय बैंक फेडरल रिजर्व ब्याज दरों में आगे भी तीव्र वृद्धि जारी रखेगा। चीन का शंघाई कंपोजिट इंडेक्स आज लगभग सपाट बंद हुआ, जबकि दक्षिण कोरिया के कोस्पी में 1.1% की गिरावट दर्ज हुई। सिंगापुर का स्ट्रेट्स टाइम्स सूचकांक 0.5% लुढ़क गया। हांगकांग का हैंगसेंग 0.4% के नुकसान में रहा। हालांकि जापान का निकेई 0.2% की बढ़त के साथ बंद हुआ। यूरोपीय क्षेत्र की बात करें तो अंतर्देशीय कारोबार में यहां भी गिरावट का रुख था। लंदन का FTSE 100 0.3%, जबकि फ्रांस का कैक और जर्मनी का डेक्स दोनों 0.2% के नुकसान के साथ कारोबार कर रहे थे।
U.S. markets ended lower yesterday. The three major indices fell as investors, spooked by better than expected data from the services sector, re-evaluated whether the Federal Reserve could hike interest rates for longer. The Dow Jones Industrial Average declined 1.4%, the S&P 500 plunged 1.8%, and the Nasdaq Composite Indices tumbled 1.9% up. Harveer, as my colleague read just now, Vishal and I, European and Asian markets were both trading down as fresh worries that the U.S. Federal Reserve may raise interest rates more than the anticipated, and it has also eclipsed the rising confidence regarding China's economic reforms. As a result of which, look at the scenario.
No, actually, we have seen, and you just read about U.S. economy. Numbers are good. So that's because the main target is to control the inflation, and earlier we were talking that U.S. economy is already under recession, or it will come. Recession will definitely is coming to that economy, but it is not coming. European economy has a different kind of problem. Because this European bloc has its own problem compared to U.S. and other part of the world. So that is affecting European economy, and if you see, like Britain is also facing a different kind of the UK economy is facing, because now it is not part of that after the Brexit, and things are not good for that economy.
So in the Indian scenario, if the RBI policy meeting tomorrow decides to hike the rate from the expected level, which we are talking about 35 basis point, to more than that, in that case the street expectations could create a panic button in the masses?
No, I don't think so, because if you see the return from the market and return from the basically deposits in banks or other term deposits, still market is giving better return. So I don't think that it will be a big trigger for market to suddenly big up and down kind of thing in the market. I don't think the volatility will be like that.
Okay, moving on, the oil prices today fell in a volatile market as a stronger US dollar and economic uncertainty offset the bullish impact of a price cap placed on Russian oil and prospects of a demand boost in China. The crude prices fell more than 1%. Brent crude was trading at $81.60 per barrel, while WTI crude prices were at $75.90 per barrel. Where do you see the oil going from here?
Actually, you see that these OPEC countries are not basically increasing production. On the other hand, this European Union, they have put a cap of a certain price level for Russian oil. So we have to wait and watch the next few days, because they said that no, we are not going to oblige anything like that. So we have to see that, and because now this it has come into being, this price cap.
जी, और अब मल्टी कमोडिटी एक्सचेंज पर फरवरी अनुबंध के सोने का वायदा मूल्य आज 395 रुपए की तेजी से 53,900 रुपए प्रति 10 ग्राम पर चल रहा था। न्यूयॉर्क मर्केंटाइल एक्सचेंज में सोना बढ़त के साथ $1,797.10 प्रति औंस पर कारोबार कर रहा था।
Harvey, thank you so much for being with us and taking all the queries related to the markets and the economy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajesh.
And before we close, the headlines once again. World Bank revises GDP growth forecast for India to 6.9% for the current fiscal. Domestic stocks witness modest losses. Sensex finishes below 62,650. Nifty settles below 18,650 level. And Brent crude price falls to $81.60 per barrel. That's all we have in this edition of Market Mantra. Till tomorrow, goodbye.
Market Mantra.